Shannon Sharpe told her that if she would lose enough weight for him, he would buy her some artificial breasts. Now that's very puzzling to me, Art, because she's already extra skinny.
He really want a 17-year-old, but he can't. He a 18-year-old or 20-year-old. So here it is, he at the gym working out. He's showing up at the gym with them big old...
Shannon Sharpe is seething after Monique took a shot at him during one of her comedy shows, roasting him over the legal battle he's currently facing with the OnlyFans model, suing him for $50 million. The clip of Monique's joke has since gone viral, and sources close to Shannon say he's furious, especially because he thought his celebrity peers would have his back. Instead, he finds himself being dragged online. But fans, ever ready with their commentary, are reminding Shannon that Monique had actually warned him about this situation months ago. She had told him to stop pursuing relationships with younger women who might just be after his money. At the time, Shannon brushed off her advice, but now, the aftermath of his legal trouble has him questioning his choices. Even if he manages to win the lawsuit, things aren't looking great for his reputation. His lucrative $100 million podcast deal is now in jeopardy. Sponsors are pulling out, and some of his friends are distancing themselves from him. But what exactly did Monique say that has Shannon so upset? And why is he mad at her when, in fact, she had tried to warn him? Let's unpack this. Monique didn't hold back in her recent show during Cat Williams' Heaven on Earth comedy tour. She reminded the audience that she had already tried to give Shannon some sage advice. She told him, "You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl." It was a stark reminder that she had warned Shannon about the dangers of chasing relationships with younger women who might not have his best interests at heart. Shannon, however, brushed off her advice, and now, with the legal drama making headlines, Monique's words feel prophetic. When the news broke about Shannon's lawsuit, a clip from an earlier interview Monique did on Shannon's own Club Shay podcast resurfaced. In that conversation, Monique advised him to stop dating women who were half his age and to instead seek someone closer to his level, someone who wouldn't just be after his wealth. It seems like Monique's predictions have now come true, and she isn't holding back in sharing her thoughts with the world. She bluntly reminded everyone, "I told that Sharpe to leave that white alone." While Shannon might be upset with her public roasting, Monique's message is clear. She saw this coming and tried to help him avoid the mess he's now in. So now that the situation has played out, it's hard for Shannon to argue with the fact that Monique's advice might have been spot on. His ongoing legal troubles, the impact on his career, and the dwindling support from sponsors and friends paint a grim picture, one that could have been avoided if he had heeded the warning. Monique has always been a polarizing figure, with some fans loving her honesty and others finding her harsh. But in this Shannon situation, even her critics are admitting she was right. She was clearly speaking directly to him, warning that his choice of women and lifestyle could come back to haunt him. Unfortunately, Shannon didn't listen. Shannon sat there, chuckling through Monique's advice, all while continuing to chase after OnlyFans models. A year later, though, the tables have turned. He's lost his ESPN position and could be facing a hefty lawsuit. Now, people are looking back at that interview, realizing that Monique was the one who spotted the warning signs before anyone else. She saw the potential fallout while Shannon brushed it off. One fan pointed out, "Monique might joke around, but she's never lying. Shannon Baldhead should have listened instead of laughing." Now look at him, about to shed tears all the way to the bank. Another chimed in. Shannon Sharpe got what was coming to him. I don't know what his friends were telling him, but at least 3 guests on his show called out his terrible dating choices. Shannon's own circle had already warned him. Cat Williams, Monique, and even Lil Yachty all had something to say about his dating choices. But despite the fallout from the lawsuit and losing his ESPN gig, it seems like Shannon hasn't quite absorbed the lessons. Sources close to him have revealed that he was livid after seeing Monique turn his situation into material for her comedy show. It seems Shannon is frustrated that Monique has turned his legal troubles into comedy fodder, with insiders claiming he expected his celebrity friends to stand by him. But when the dust settled, hardly anyone stepped up to defend his character, which is telling in itself. Despite that, there's little sympathy for Shannon from the public, as this lawsuit feels like the culmination of a pattern of careless decisions he's made over the years. Shannon has certainly been in the spotlight lately, but not for reasons he'd probably prefer. Recently, a viral clip has surfaced that reveals a different side of him. In the April 30th episode of Nightcap, while discussing the 2025 NFL Draft, Shannon abruptly lost his cool. Without any warning, he turned off camera and yelled, "Shut the fuck up." Things got chaotic during a recent segment when two callers rang in at once, prompting confusion and a flurry of, "Who's this?" and "Where you at?" before it all devolved into one telling the other to shut up. But the wild ride didn't stop there. Shannon Sharpe is catching heat again, this time for a comment he made about his daughter's future weddings. During an episode of Nightcap, where he and his co-host were chatting about how much they'd shell out for their kids' big days, Shannon firmly declared he wouldn't spend more than $30,000 on any one of them. His reasoning? Weddings don't need to break the bank. In fact, he joked, a menu of spaghetti and fried fish would do just fine. Critics are quick to point out the irony, especially considering this is the same man who reportedly dangled a $10 million offer in front of an OnlyFans model to make a lawsuit disappear.
And just one more thing about Mr. Sharpe. Not so sharp, clearly. It is my theory, just my opinion, my theory, not fact, my opinion. I think all of this RACE rhetoric that was in those text messages started with him. It started with him. It's becoming more and more clear to me, in my opinion, that he has a race fetish. He has a fetish for that type of dynamic. Think about it. This was a 19-year-old white woman when he met her. I don't know any 19-year-old white woman that's running around hollering about a big black baby and baby gravy. Shannon was a 54-year-old big black grown man from the backwoods of Georgia. Gravy sound like some he's familiar with. Big black babies, he probably seen a few in his day. Born in the backwoods of Georgia where he grew up with his grandma and all them other folks. But I just don't think that came from her. Now, is she repeating it back in those text messages? Yes. That's why he released her messages, not his. Peep that. Okay? We haven't seen what his responses was. And I guarantee you, when they post those messages, y'all gonna see. All of that race started with him. It's a fetish. And he could only play that kind of stuff out with a young girl. He couldn't, like Monique was trying to tell him, get an older gal. Older gal ain't going for that. They was going to immediately know he was a freak and a weirdo. A 19-year-old don't know no better. That's why she repeating it back to him, because he said it to her first. Older men, that's why they tend to want to be with younger women. They're more impressionable. They can mold them. They can shape them to be what they want them to be. Do what they want them to do. You let him come to a 40 or 50-year-old woman talking about put a big black baby and baby gravy. We gonna be looking like, what's wrong with you? Yeah, that started with him. Mark my words. It's gonna come out. But that race stuff started.
Fans quickly turned on Shannon, dragging him for hypocrisy after leaked texts showed the OnlyFans model charging him $25,000 per cheek. One commenter said the backlash was necessary, claiming Shannon lost whatever respect he had left, offering millions to an ex-worker while capping his daughter's wedding at $30K. More old footage is bubbling up, painting a consistent and questionable picture of Shannon's behavior toward women. One clip gaining traction shows him proudly admitting he once footed the bill for a woman's divorce simply because he believed she was the one. All while his own daughter's wedding is stuck under a $30K cap. In the resurfaced segment, Shannon recounts, "I was dating this woman, Skip. She was still married but going through a divorce. I knew I wanted her, so I told her, 'Don't worry, I'll pay for it.' Her husband was stalling over money, and I said, 'That's all it is?' So I gave her the cash and got the papers filed. That's how serious I was." Then there's another viral clip where Shannon shares a sexually explicit story involving a different woman. One so wild it left even Deion Sanders stunned and speechless.
The absolute true story.
Hey.
I put this on everything. I was having sex with this young lady.
Hold
on. Paint the whole picture now. Don't cheat me.
Yeah, don't cheat me either.
Okay.
I want details.
We're having
details.
Sex. We're having
position.
Yeah.
You know I'm the bad guy.
Hey. Oh, Lord Jesus. She ain't do it, but she don't know she
Let's
did.
go, bro.
No, she did.
That is not. Oh, I swear. And what I'm about to say is 1,000%
Talk to
true.
me, baby.
So she passed
Yes,
gas.
sir.
She said, excuse
Do it?
me. I said, that's all right. Do it. Yes, she passed gas.
Okay.
Do it.
Yeah.
We had
Then she
sex.
looked back and say, excuse me.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
How she do it?
Time. She said, excuse me. I
Yeah,
said,
you
that's
right.
all right,
I'm
baby. I
taking
generally
that
make them do it. Hey, she said, excuse me. I said, that's all right, baby. I generally make them. It kept going. I'm with it. I'm hell with it, time. I'm hell with it, time.
Hey. Come on,
Both of y'all
baby.
nasty, man.
Hey, talk.
Both of y'all nasty, dog.
Hey.
I swear. I
That's,
swear.
no, I know you ain't
Hey,
laughing. That's bad.
fist bump. Fist bump.
No, don't do that. Don't be.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't no good. That ain't Shannon. That's not that.
Huh?
Don't do that. Y'all.
If you check the comment sections, it's clear many fans have had enough. A lot of them say Shannon's oversharing, especially about his bizarre bedroom stories, is exactly why they stopped watching his show with Ochachinko. For most, hearing that kind of talk from a man pushing 60 was more cringe than entertaining. At the same time, criticism from within the industry is mounting. More voices are speaking out, questioning Shannon's judgment, especially over his involvement with a 19-year-old. Dr. Umar chimed in, stating that lawsuit or not, Shannon had no business dealing with someone that young. He added that Gabriella's alleged refusal to sign an NDA should have been a major red flag Shannon didn't, or chose not to see.
Think that in the aftermath of all of these cases that's going on, that Shannon Sharpe or any black male celebrity for that matter will conduct themselves in a more responsible manner. So what do we know about this situation? According to Gabriella Zuniga, she met Shannon Sharpe at a gym in Los Angeles approximately 2 years ago, 2023. Now, Shannon alleges that he tried to present her with an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, which every celebrity should require from anyone they engage with. Well, guess what, Art? She decides she's not going to sign the NDA. That right there was a warning to Shannon Sharpe that this 19-year-old, who you shouldn't be dating anyway because of her age, because of her race, you need to end this. If she don't want to sign an NDA dating a celebrity, you know what that means. That means if this doesn't go her way, she's going to expose you. Shannon Sharpe should have ended it right there. The problem was she fit his type. Obviously, Uncle Shay, he likes Caucasian women, as we all know, and he likes them very skinny, which I didn't know. And the reason I'm saying that is the pictures that are floating around the internet on Gabrielle Asu Ninjas is the pictures of a very petite Caucasian woman who, not being disrespectful when I say this, appears to be built like a 13, 14, 15-year-old child. And according to her, allegedly, Shannon Sharpe told her that if she would lose enough weight for him, he would buy her some artificial breasts. Now, that's very puzzling to me, Art, because she's already extra skinny, extra petite, no booty, no breasts, no nothing. Why would you want her to lose any more weight? So from that, we can gather that Shannon Sharpe's type is an extra pale, extra skinny Caucasian. He definitely don't like them 5'5" thick in the thighs like Dr. Umar. He don't want butter almond. He don't want butter pecan. He don't want fudge, cinnamon, mahogany. He don't even want African vanilla, African butterscotch, African lemonade. He wants some pale and skinny. I want him brown chocolate.
At this point, public sympathy for Shannon is in short supply. Fans aren't rallying behind him. In fact, many are saying he has no grounds to be upset with Monique for making light of his situation. After all, she once gave him genuine advice during her appearance on Club Shay, warning him to move differently. But instead of taking it seriously, Shannon laughed it off and kept doing his own thing. Now that everything's unraveling, people are saying he's simply facing the fallout of his own decisions. And judging by recent developments, that fallout could be massive. Gabriella is reportedly seeking $50 million in damages, an amount that could seriously test Shannon's financial standing. According to Celebrity Net Worth, Shannon's current net worth sits around $30 million. He earned roughly $22.5 million during his NFL career, with his biggest contract being a $13.8 million deal with the Ravens, including a $5 million payday. These days, his income streams include podcasting, brand partnerships, media gigs, and his premium cognac line, La Portier, reportedly bringing in around $10 million annually. Still, he's trailing behind his First Take co-host, Stephen A. Smith, whose estimated net worth is $45 million. Stephen A. recently made headlines with a monster 5-year, $100 million contract, putting him just behind Tom Brady in terms of sports media earnings. Here's the real kicker. Shannon was on the brink of landing a massive $100 million media deal right before everything went sideways. According to Front Office Sports, just days before Gabriella's lawsuit hit the headlines, Shannon was in final talks to secure a major contract that would have wrapped in all of his Shay media properties. Club Shay, Nightcap with Chad Johnson, Club 520, The Bubba Dub Show, and Humble Baddies. The report dropped on April 18th, only 3 days before Gabriella officially filed her complaint. Now, that deal is in limbo, and if it collapses, it could mean a devastating financial and career blow for Shannon. And with the lawsuit still looming overhead, the future of both his brand and his bank account remains uncertain. Now here's where things get even more complicated. If Shannon ends up losing this case, a lot of folks are questioning whether he's even banked enough over the years to cover a $50 million payout. To be fair, even if the court doesn't side with him, Gabriella isn't guaranteed to walk away with the full amount she's demanding. Civil cases involving allegations like this are notoriously hard to prove, especially when the line between consent and misconduct isn't crystal clear. There's also a real possibility Shannon won't be held liable at all. He could dodge the financial bullet entirely. But win or lose, there's one thing that won't be so easy to shake off: the damage to his public image. Because while the court of law might give him a pass, the court of public opinion already has receipts. We've seen the texts. We've heard the audio. Shannon threatening to choke Gabriella during a heated exchange. That kind of content sticks. Say that one more time, and I'll choke the out of you when I see you. It's hard to come back from something like that, no matter what a judge decides. This goes beyond legal guilt. This is about perception. And perception is everything when you're partnered with a company like Disney, which owns ESPN. Corporations like that don't care if you win in court. They care about headlines, trends, and brand safety. And right now, Shannon is trending for all the wrong reasons. Even if he beats the lawsuit, many companies may still see him as too risky to touch. Could he stage a comeback? Sure, Shannon's built a loyal fan base, and the public does love a redemption story, but that path is going to be steeper now, and much of it is his own doing. He ignored warnings from people like Monique and Cat Williams, and got caught up in a situation that never should have happened. The age difference, the power imbalance, the disturbing racial undertones, it all adds up to a mess no brand wants to be associated with. So what do you think? Can Shannon really bounce back from this, or has the fallout already gone too far? And as for Monique, was she out of line for cracking jokes, or is it fair game after she gave him a warning he chose to ignore? Drop your take in the comments. This one's far from over.